Lucy's Moments. Chapter 5. Lucy. I haven't told anyone about Jeremy, not even about how we met. There was a Michael W. Smith concert around the corner. Before worship and worship again, I was a Michael W. Smith fan. Smithy, Amy Grant, and DC Talk. Those were my sacred trio. Now I can't get enough of Toby Mac. Anyway, everyone on the group was talking about it, the concert. It was one of those closed groups on Facebook. But since the concert was far away in North America, I could only wish I could go. And that's exactly what I said in one of those endless comment trails. A minute later, someone replies to my comment, "Get you a ticket?" Ugh. I actually rolled my eyes. Truth is, I absolutely dislike those vague statements. Did it mean the person was going to get me a ticket, or did it mean I should get myself a ticket? Anyway, I replied and said I couldn't go even if I wanted to. A minute later, a message pops up on my messenger. "Are you in Ghana?" Okay, it was the same guy, I thought, checking him out. He had probably checked me out too. That is why he could guess I was in Ghana. "Yes," I replied. "And you are a Michael W. Smith fan?" I sent a rolling my eyes emoji. "Before you were born," I type. 3 laughing emojis pop up. "No, you have to admit, that is strange. You are strange." "What? Why?" I reply. The Facebook guy types, "I'd expect you to be a CC Winans fan, not Michael W. Smith." Great, you got it all figured out, Mr. Know-It-All, but I didn't add the last part. "Tell me what else I should like," I asked instead. And then we start to compare notes about whom we like to listen to. We have roughly similar tastes. We O and R over Avalon's latest hit, and then he says he really wishes I could be at the concert. See what I mean? I can only wish. I type. "It's not fair you are so far away. C'est la vie," I add in my survival French. "Too bad. Anyway, guess what?" "What?" "I am curious. Maybe he would send me a plane ticket. In your dreams, Lucy, in your dreams." He types, "I am originally from Ghana." What? Originally from Ghana? What does that even mean? Is he or is he not from Ghana? I go back to check his profile. That's a white guy staring at me, or... Okay, he's brownish, yellowish. It's hard to keep up with the skin tones these days. So that's why he says he's originally from Ghana, meaning he has other parts. Anyway, I am happy he can't see my unimpressed face. I once met a guy who said he was from Seattle, but was originally from the British Virgin Islands. I wanted to tell him that no black guy could originally be from the British Virgin Islands, but I guess it depended on how we were defining original. To be safe, I asked Facebook guy how Ghanaian he is. "My mom is Ghanaian, my dad is from here." Here meaning the United States. "So you are half Ghanaian?" I type back. Why did he have to complicate it with originally from Ghana? Apart from our tastes in music, I was getting tired of this conversation. "Yes," he types back. "Nice. You are allowed to call yourself a Ghanaian." I type. "Stop confusing me." For some reason, he thought that very funny and sent 2 rows of laughing emojis. "Are you laughing as hard in real life?" I was curious. "Yes, you are actually very funny," he writes back. "And you might have a slight identity crisis, I think. Poor guy. Anyway, there's no chance of me getting a free plane ticket to go watch a concert. But Jeremy, that is his name, mails me a CD of the concert. If he's mailing me a CD, you can tell that it's a long time ago. Jeremy and I have been chatting for years. It took a while for me to get used to chatting with someone I'd never met. The Facebook group hasn't been active for years, but Jeremy and I have moved far beyond that now. I read Jeremy the lyrics of the song on the way to church. He likes it. He wants me to sing them for him, but I have to draw a line there. Church will be streaming live. He can hear it there. He says he'll be sound asleep by then. Too bad, I laugh. And then I let him know I have to be off. It's 6:45 a.m. here and it's almost midnight over there. He is a night owl, so the time difference works for us. Tommy is already waiting when I enter the church. He looks up, getting up from a chair. "Good morning," he says brightly, bouncing over to meet me. "Hi, Tommy. Slept well?" He grins and shrugs. "It's a new day." Not a direct answer, I notice. I drape my handbag over a chair and unscrew a bottle of water. I take a sip. People have their routine. I am not sure what mine is, but water always helps. Where are those notes? I look through my second, bigger bag and fish out some sheets. I made some changes some would say are insignificant, but I'd like Tommy to know about them all the same. He has come to sit by me. "What did you change?" "Nothing much. Look." I point and he catches it immediately. He sees my point. Better rhyming and all that. Music is like poetry on steroids when you get it right. He hums a few lines and nods his head. "Ready?" "Yes, I'm ready." He snaps his fingers, 1, 2, 3, like he usually does, and we're off, harmonizing like there were only the two of us left on the planet. His voice is a wonderful, sultry tenor. Mine is an alto, but I can hit some high notes when I switch into something that cannot exactly be called a soprano. The choir director calls it the X Factor. It's very distinct and surprising. He's asked how I can tilt my voice to sound like that. I don't know, it just comes. There are other people in the church building. The drummer is there. Sometimes I think he lives there. He's always there. The administrator is off to one row, conferring with one of the youth leaders. There are a few early birds quietly seated, meditating or engrossed on their phones. One or two are listening to us. There isn't much to distract us. Go through it perfectly. I'm starting to wonder again why we needed to go through the song again. Beautiful. Tommy and I look up at the same time. It's his dad. The music director is with him. I felt that, he says solemnly, bringing a hand to his chest. And even though we shouldn't rely on feelings, it is very good when you can feel it. Thank you, sir. I've learned to take a compliment. He grins. Maybe I can get you to call me Pastor one of these days. If I could, I would turn red. Sorry, Pastor, I say, apologizing. I don't know why I forgot. Why I keep forgetting. My mom says it's her fault. Men are to be called sir. Well, I'll leave you to it. He walks away. The music director climbs up the stage to inspect the contraptions. Did I offend him? I look at Tommy. No, you couldn't offend him, not with that voice. I'm serious, Tommy. And I'm serious too. I look at him and I think we have a moment because it's awkward. I need to get out of this chair. He must know because he places a hand on my arm. I think I'm ready, he says. I get up. I know you are. I reply. Hi, Tommy. We both turn at the same time. A woman makes a beeline for Tommy. If she sees me, she doesn't show it. I go outside for some fresh air. Chapter 6. Tommy. She smells like hopes and dreams. She's smiling with that wide smile and bright eyes that tell you she's about to say something smart and funny at the same time. I am right. Everyone laughs. I laugh. I can't tear my eyes off her face, and just like in the movies, our eyes meet. I feel something. Does she feel it too? And this is the second time today. She smiles. Just for me. I smile back. Do my eyes give too much away? I step sideways and hope that maybe she follows me. She doesn't, so my mind is free to wander. It's still Sunday and we are in her mom's house for supper. My dad does this thing where he rotates where he eats Sunday dinner. I decided to tag along today. It's been a while since I came back here. It's amazing how people can live at one place for all their lives. My dad has moved the family around for, I try to remember the correct number, 7 times. We've moved house 7 times, and usually it was because the church also moved. I always found it disruptive. My sisters also did, but they didn't grouch about it like I did. I was out and out outraged whenever we had to move, but we won't be moving again from where we are now, or rather, where my parents are. I am on my own now. Even though I've gotten my act back together now, I still want to have my space, and the only way I can get it is being on my own. But I remember this place. I look around me. The only reason I could come here so much was because I was the pastor's son. Other than that, Lucy's mom would have driven me out with the back of a broom. But she was, still is, an elder in the church and my father's confidant. So I used to tag along until it became second nature to be in their house. We used to be in the same school even. In the same class, Lucy and I. She was always smarter than me, but girls usually were, and I had no problem with that. Where I had a problem was that she was faster than me. I hated that. I needed to be king somewhere. I was always the noisemaker, always getting into trouble, always being called out to be punished, always acting out. Thinking about it now, it was so obvious, so cliche, the way I craved attention. I'm surprised no one could see that was what it was all about. And somehow it made it worse that Lucy would be there, skinny in her school uniform, staring silently at me because the person she knew from church and home somehow always managed to turn into a monster in school. If it confused her, it confused me too. But she never stopped being my friend, and I never stopped being hers. Even after a particularly bad day at school, we would meet outside the school gates and we would walk home together until my father moved us further away. That week, I smashed the teacher's chair. It was a dare, and I was angry that I had been moved again. Afterwards, I waved to Lucy as her mom picked her up from school, and I waited for my mom or dad to show up I was slightly older and she wasn't allowed to go home by herself. My sisters were much older than I was and in different schools. And then the time came when we went to different high schools. It was the longest I'd gone without seeing Lucy. The first thing I did after we went on break after that first term was to look for Lucy. I was still in my boarding school houseware when I stood in front of her gate and knocked. Her mom had answered, happy to see me. But Lucy hadn't been home yet. She would be arriving the next day. To say I was disappointed was putting it mildly. But I was back the next day and it was as if no time had passed. We swapped stories of senior secondary school and tried to outdo each other with the new things we'd learned. Was that the last time things were normal between us? I looked around the house. There were 13 steps to the first floor. There were 5 steps from the veranda to the front door. 4 more flower pots had been added to the 7 which lined the porch. Some of the flowers had changed. Someone was trying to grow a rose patch. I walked down the steps and looked to the right. There was the mango tree. That hadn't gone anywhere. Slowly, I walked towards it. Lucy and I had sat under it and in it many times. There was a thick, fat branch that had made it easy for climbing. It was gone now. The tree looked smaller, more tame. I stood there and wondered if she remembered. If she remembered that balmy, windy evening when we had stood under the mango tree. But how could she forget? Did people forget their first kiss? Lucy. What are you doing out here? I asked. I walked towards the mango tree. Tommy is staring out at something and I wonder what he's thinking about and what he's doing out here all by himself. But then again, Tommy has always been different. Just thinking. He turns around, hands in his pocket, his dreadlocks looking as if they are weighing him down. Or maybe it's just my imagination. Is the conversation inside boring you? Not exactly. He looks at the seat which has replaced the branch we used to sit on. A safer option, I have to say. We were not as nimble as we once were. Care to join me? I shrug and we sit down, side by side. Only the leaves rustle when the occasional wind blows. Lately, it's been a lot like this with Tommy. Long silences. Too much to be said, and in the end, nothing being said. We started at the same time. Go ahead, he says. No, you go ahead, I insist. Have you been avoiding me? No, I think you have. Why would you think that? Lucy, it's me. His eyes are big and wide. Tommy, I don't read minds. He sighs and looks away. It is my fault, he says. What is your fault? I shouldn't have left. I should have stayed. What difference would that have made? A lot. He pauses. You wouldn't be with a Mercedes guy for one. I do a double take. Tommy knows about Kofi. I am not with Kofi, I say. He stares long at me. My eyes go to his dreads. I really hate them. Why does he keep them? Do you remember that night when we stood under this tree and he was staring into my eyes? He reaches for my hands. I say nothing. Of course I remember. I even felt something. But that is the problem. It's only something. I don't know what it was. He didn't give us a chance for me to find out. He said he would be back, but he never came back. Not a letter, not even a Facebook message. There were whisperings of Tommy gone crazy, rebellious, in a gang even, in jail. My mom wouldn't say anything when I asked, and Canada was too far for me to travel to find out how Tommy was doing. So yes, I moved on. It wasn't fair of him to mention the past, not the past. I am a changed man, Lucy. I never had a problem with you, Tommy. You left. I was always here. Hearing me say that makes me realize that there's probably more to my feelings than I give credit for. He nods. That's my greatest stupidity of all. I didn't have to get into all that trouble to prove anything to you. You always accepted me as I was. I just never accepted myself. Tommy, it's all right, I say. Is it? What do you want? I ask. What do you think? He says. But I want to hear him say it. I am tired of guessing. The girls always milling around him don't make it easy. It would be nice to have my friend back. The thing about Tommy is that my mom likes him. It beats me, but she has a soft spot for Pastor Timothy's son. Tommy could do no wrong. So imagine when he broke bad. Not that the signs hadn't already been there, but it was a great disappointment. Someone opens the front door and a shaft of light from inside casts a glow around the patch of grass. Lucy! I have to go, I say, rising from my seat beside him. It felt natural, sitting beside him. Part of me is wishing I could stay just a little bit longer. I'll call you, he says, reaching for my hand one last time. I can see his ruggedly handsome face in the dim light. I nod, and I move away until only the edge of our fingers are touching, just like in the movies. Chapter 7. Kofi. I have thought long and hard about it, even prayed, but that was a bit messy. The prayer, I mean. It's been a while since I prayed properly and I felt out of practice. But isn't there a place in the Bible about God running to us even before we get to Him? So I prayed, a selfish prayer too, because I wasn't giving God any options. The only answer I need is the answer I want. I realized that apart from having her heart broken, the only thing that saved Lucy from my friend Jojo is that she's a church girl. Not just any church girl. Mind you, there are the fashionable ones, and then there are the Jesus girls, whom you come across maybe once in a lifetime. Bad boy moves don't work on them. It's their way or the highway. I want a woman like that. Did I deserve one like that? Who did, especially after the trail of hearts we left behind while at university? I have cleaned up my act, but it looks as if my friend never did. See where that got him. I am looking for someone I can trust. That's all. And I have searched, but honestly, after that debacle with Jojo, I am tired of starting new friendships. I mean, I have already lost my best friend to bad business. Jojo had made a lot of bad deals after he returned to the UK, and in the end, I had had to give up years of hard work and start all over again without him. The banks were after him, and that is why his wife wanted me to help salvage the situation, but that ship has sailed. I was not getting into any deals with Jojo again. Too much good money had been thrown after bad. Let him live his life. Let me live mine. Interesting, that decision had eventually led me back to Ghana, to Lucy. Not that it started out that way. So now, I want something ready made. Someone ready made. Yeah, I know. Judge all you want, but what's a guy got to do to get a decent woman? And I am tired of going home to meet an empty house and DSTV. And because I've decided that there won't be any baby mama drama for me, it further narrows my options because I avoid the sort of entertainment that makes that happen. I have this blurred picture of her on my lap on my phone. I don't know where it came from. I was idly scrolling through my gallery when I saw it. She was with Jojo. Something funny had been said, and she had had her head thrown back, laughing without a care in the world. Well, that is how it looked like. It looked like she was in love with my friend. Probably Jojo had sent it. There was just one time that Jojo had called me and Lucy had been with him, and there had been 5 seconds of hello through the Skype call. I had silently congratulated my friend on his find, and that had been it. But a couple of years later, here was her picture on my phone, and suddenly I couldn't get her out of my mind. How did I get her number? That I remember. Jojo had sent it to me. Lucy had not been talking to him. She wasn't answering his calls. He had wanted me to call her on his behalf to say that he was sorry. That was a week before his wedding. There was no way I was going to do that. Jojo needed to get his act together and let Lucy move on. I stared at her phone number for 2 weeks. Maybe she had even changed her number, but I would go to my contacts and my finger would hover over her name, waiting for a sign, a prompt. But there was nothing except the staccato pounding of my heart. Only for me to make the call, and I later realized she doesn't know me and didn't bother to ask. And I had been too nervous to introduce myself. But who does that anyway? Goes out with a guy she doesn't know? If her mom is crazy, then maybe some of it passed down to her daughter. I won't admit that I love a bit of crazy, but later that night, I find myself smiling over our first date. I don't know why she agreed to see me a second time, and after that, but because now I'm sure she doesn't trust me. Chapter 8. Jeremy. I put Lucy on hold. My best bud, Michael, wants me to help him out on the barbecue. Warm summer evenings. What else is there to do? He has a kid strapped to his back, West African style. I taught him that. Everyone thinks it's hilarious, but it works. His hands are free to do what he wants, but he can't be in 2 places at once, so he calls for help. I've decided that I won't go for the vacation with the guys and their families. I compromised and decided to host a sending off party for my friends. The guys seemed to like that. Are you talking to Lucy? Michael asks, seeing that I'm still checking my phone to make sure Lucy is waiting for me. She is very patient. Yeah. Whoa. For how long have you two been going now? 7-ish years. But I just grin. Michael doesn't need to know the details. Seriously, man, when are you gonna do something about her? Do something about her? I just shake my head. We're just friends, I say instead. Michael laughs loudly. Hey guys, check this out. He has raised his voice, and even some of the little kids glance at him from high up in the treehouse. What's up, babe? Michael's wife, Lucille, asks. She's fanning herself with a handheld fan, and her dark hair billows wildly around her face. Johnny and his wife, Martha, lean out from the gazebo. The game of Monopoly is momentarily forgotten. Those two are the most competitive couple I've ever met. Malik and Jasmine, Bobby and Janice, Nick and Opal, that's the entire gang, all turn their attention to Michael. Hey, check this out. You guys remember Lucy? The wives frown in concentration, trying to remember. The guys know Lucy, so Bobby and Malik are grinning like little boys. Yeah, the girl from Facebook, Malik supplies. What's up with her? Nah, the hot girl from Facebook. Are you guys still talking? Bobby is asking, a frown of disbelief on his face. You met a girl on Facebook? Opal, who likes to mother me, is asking. What's she like? When are you going to make a move? Hey, guys, chill, okay? My hands are raised in a defensive position. He's got her on hold right now. Michael is not letting go. Yeah, and maybe she can hear you, I grunt. You guys are FaceTiming? Jasmine is excited. She comes to sit by me. Tell me about this woman. I spear a see what you've done look at Michael. But I answer Jasmine. We're friends. Yeah, tell that to the birds. And she's from the motherland. Johnny, who is from the Caribbean, believes we are brothers from another mother. How long have you known her? Jasmine is serious. Lucille, Opal, and Janice come to join her. I am surrounded. 7, 8 years, I say lamely. Even to me, it's not looking good. And you like her? Janice wanted to sort out the basics. She's cute. She's a church girl. And get this, she's very single. Michael checks off each point on a finger. And of course, he likes her. I begin to regret telling Michael all about Lucy. So, the woman waits for an answer. Over the years, they've tried to set me up with their single friends. Somehow, I would suddenly get called away or it just never worked. So you can see why they are very interested. Lucy is still on hold. I tell them that I need to get back to the call and they are excited squeals all over. They want to talk to her, to meet her. Uh-oh, I didn't see that coming. I have really walked into this one. I get my phone. Hey, Luce. Hey, she waves. You didn't burn the steak, did you? Nah, hey, my friends here want to say hi. Are you okay with that? My voice rises a bit when I ask. The gang? She's asking. Their wives, actually. They realized I was talking to you and, My voice trails away, hoping she won't take this the wrong way. Okay, sure. All right. I look up and nod, and the ladies materialize at my sides. Even Martha has abandoned the game of Monopoly to FaceTime with Lucy. Hi, Lucy. Jasmine is waving enthusiastically. I'm Jasmine, and this is Opal, and the phone is no longer in my hands, and I watch as they introduce themselves one after the other. I punch Michael in the arm, and he just shrugs. It had to be done, man. I even like her, Michael says. If I could, I would roll my eyes at you, I tell him, and that sets him off into a laughing fit. Johnny joins the ladies. I try to tune into what they are talking about. Someone asks if Lucy thinks she might want to come visit. San Diego is lovely at this time of the year. I can't hear what Lucy says. I actually wish I'd heard what she said. It would be great to see her in person. I feel a small shiver just thinking about it. It goes on for a while, the talking. The ladies ask many questions about Ghana. It sounds as if Lucy has given an open invitation to all of them because they are all excited, especially Jasmine. She's always wanted to go back and find her roots. There's talk of castles and kente and kelewele. I make good kelewele. My mother taught me how, and it's what I always take to our potlucks. But I think Lucy says there's better kelewele in Ghana. The plantains in the States are so tired and sad by the time they get into the fryers. And do they even have real peppers and ginger? Everyone is laughing. Of course, everyone knows Lucy is just exaggerating, but it works because we all like to think that unless we go to farmers' markets for our groceries, we are stuck with GM foods and proteins stuffed with antibiotics. Huh. The table is set. The guys are impatient to start digging in. The ladies reluctantly give me back my phone. Hey, can I call you back later? I ask Lucy. Sure, your friends are great. They think you're great too. She grins. Enjoy your barbecue. I end the call and it's time to face the Sahindran. Jasmine looks at me and clucks. Martha just smacks me in the arm. Ouch, I say. Marry her, you big idiots. I like her. I chalk that to her Mexican blood. She's fiery like a bag of jalapenos. Opal nods, mimicking Jasmine. You need a game plan. He needs a game plan. And they walk away chattering among themselves, hatching up plan A, B, and C. They've forgotten to ask me how I feel about it. This is the Story Lounge. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Do leave a comment if you can. Thank you for listening. See you next time.